Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Sarah Nicholson and I'm your presenter for this evening. So obviously I'm aware that a lot of you are here because you've actually just been made redundant. So I am here to, go through the different options and different avenues that you may choose to explore and choose to go down. So let's get into it. So I have a quick video to show you initially, so just have a look. Excellent. So I wanted to, just show you guys that video because I know a number of you may be feeling discouraged or not quite sure about what the next step is, but I really want to encourage you that we'll keep going, just keep going, keep persisting, and something you love will come up. So you've got to keep your spirits high, keep your attitude high, and just be excited about what the possibility or the potential could hold. Awesome, so let's get into it. So a number of you came from the manufacturing industry. So with the manufacturing industry on the decline, with a number of car manufacturers actually closing their Australian plants, I would recommend looking into other industries and exploring other potential work options. Even for a number of you, you may consider study options as well. The attainment of education qualifications remains important given the strong past and projected growth of higher skilled occupations. The Australian economy has continued to shift away from lower skilled jobs towards a higher skilled service-based economy. So as you can see by this graph here, 64% of jobs in Australia are actually at the highest skilled level, which is a degree or higher. Medium skilled, so 29%, is a diploma or a Cert 4 or Cert 3. And then low skilled is like a Year 10, Year 12 certificate or a Cert 1 or Cert 2. So as you can see, a large majority of the jobs in Australia are after that higher qualification and that higher skill qualification level. So Queensland shortages. So at the moment, Queensland has skill shortages in a number of different areas. And so what that means is there actually aren't enough skilled people to fill the jobs that are required. So a number of the areas in Queensland that are experiencing skill shortages are special education teachers, medical, radiographers, sonographers, optometrists, motorcycle mechanics, which might be one that interests some of you, panel beaters, bricklayers, painting trade workers, cabinet makers, butchers, and small good makers. So as you can see, a number of them are actually very hands-on roles, which might be something you want to consider. The largest industry of employment on the Gold Coast is actually healthcare and social assistance. So retail, trade and construction, both labour-intensive industries. With the Gold Coast being a tourist city with lots of cafes and restaurants and bars, that's obviously an industry that's going to continue to increase. So again, if that's something you would want to pursue, it's definitely it's definitely good to pursue something that is in demand, and there is a skill shortage, because at the end of the day it means you're more likely to find a job quicker, more stability in a job, and also potential career progression in a job as well. So they're just some things for you to consider. A bit more information on the Queensland labour market. So you may choose to explore in-demand industries in which job stability and job opportunities are stronger than other industries. Some of these industries, so a few more industries for you to consider, are automatic trades, building professionals, constructions, telecommunication technicians, engineering professionals, trades and food trades. Some of the industries in Queensland actually needing employees. So getting a bit more specific now are accountants, automatic trades, building professionals, childcare, construction, engineering professionals, health and social occupations, IT professionals, teachers, hairdressers, solicitors and veterinarians. There's just a few for you to consider. So the labour market information, which is a resource that has been created by the government, is useful for those seeking employment as it helps make informed decisions on potentially what industries to pursue, and it helps people identify what their priorities are. So for example, if your priority is you want job stability, so you actually want a job that you can be in for the next 20 years, that might be your priority. Or if you want to pursue something that makes a lot of money, that could also be a priority. Even if you want to pursue something that maybe has no weekend or night work, so that that can be family time, that could also be something you choose to consider. So I want to just show you something. So this resource was created by the government and is really, really beneficial for just helping to identify what potential career or education you could pursue. So let's have a look. As I mentioned, what this resource is it gives you the opportunity to explore different industries and different careers. So what you can do is you can either just scroll based on A to Z to see what they have available, or you can actually you can search by growth, future growth, industry, skill level, job type. So let's, for example, just search it by skill level. So if you decide after this that you actually don't want to go back and study, or you don't want to pursue any other education options, using the skill level could help determine what is out there with the current skill level you're at. So let's just have a look, and we will go so high school or Cert 1, and we'll hit search. Yep, so as you can see, here are some of the different things you may choose to consider. So we've got career workers, we've got builders and plumbing labourers, caretakers, commercial cleaners, concreters. If we scroll down a bit, we've got housekeepers, handy person, laundry workers, and so on. As well, you can see there that it gives you an indication of the income that you could potentially earn per week doing some of these jobs. So again, that's something to consider. You might have a family, so that's definitely something to consider. Whereas we'll have a look now, instead of basing it on skill level, let's have a look at industry. So we have a look at manufacturing, for example. So we've got aircraft maintenance engineers, which potentially earn $1,600 a week. We've got cabinet makers, so that's $1,000 a week. Clothing trade workers. Engineering managers, so that's actually $2,300 a week. But so for that one, you need a bachelor's degree or higher, and the future growth is stable. So, yep, so as I mentioned, that is an incredible resource when trying to figure out which avenue to pursue. So what's actually currently in demand? So why is an in-demand job important and something that you may want to consider? So an in-demand job is similar to the skill, to a skill shortage, but an in-demand job, the government may actually provide some kind of subsidies or some kind of incentive to help push people into that avenue or that career. So for example, childcare workers are or were a couple of years ago given an incentive. So this was an in-demand job which the government did want to push and try and get more people into. So one of the incentives they were given is they were given $3,000 off their HECS debt every year for a certain amount of time. So that's definitely something to consider. Again, in-demand jobs are much more stable. So the potential of staying in that industry or that job for a while is definitely there. And it's often easy to get a job, so because they obviously need more workers, they're after people. So something I would definitely encourage is consider a wide range of job opportunities. So your exact job that you just came from may actually be really hard to find. Be open to new opportunities and to try new things. And identify your skills and see what other industries you may be able to use these skills in. So coming from a car manufacturer or a car dealership, I anticipate you would be good with your hands, but also good with potentially transporting things. So that's definitely something to consider. Another thing is to consider retraining. So consider broadening your skill set in addition to providing additional skills and qualification. Training demonstrates your commitment to a particular career direction. So actually training or retraining, so potentially learning skills that you've already learned, but just familiarizing yourself or trying to learn new skills can definitely show commitment to development. So a number of employees specifically suggested training courses in responsible service of alcohol, gaming, even work health and safety. And another thing I would recommend is obtaining a heavy vehicle license to access jobs in the transport sector. So a heavy vehicle license, or even like a forklift license. I'm sure a number of you already have that. They're definitely things to pursue. So be positive and enthusiastic. We did touch on this a little bit. A number of you may actually feel discouraged at the moment, but a positive attitude can ease any concerns an employer might have about your willingness. So you want to be positive, you want to be enthusiastic, and in the employer's eyes, that's definitely something they're looking for. They want to see somebody that's enthusiastic, that they can train, that can grow into a role. And you should also speak with employers about potential job opportunities. Yep, so this is just something to consider. So potentially if you're a person working in a trade or you've been in a job for a long time, which you guys have, you could actually apply for recognition of prior learning. So a number of education institutes do offer this. So it's almost like they're saying, we can see that you have years of experience. There are some subjects you may not need to do because of those years of experience. So it's definitely something to consider because it's potentially an easy way to get a qualification. So that can potentially lead to a part qualification. So they might actually say, we're only going to take off some subjects, but they also might say, we're going to RPL all subjects for you, and so the whole course. And so from there, a qualification, you could then go into pursue like a bachelor's degree or diploma, and then it increases your career prospects. But if it also does just come to be a part qualification, again from there you could then pursue further qualifications, so continuing to complete certificates or the diploma or the degree, and then again increased career prospects. So just a little tip about resume writing. So just some of the things to consider. So match each application to the specific job. So if you see a job that interests you, make sure you tailor your skills to the job requirement and what it's actually asking. Make sure it looks and sounds professional. So in that, spelling, grammar, punctuation is really important. So make sure you read it, reread it, get somebody to proofread it. Just make sure it sounds as professional as possible. And then write to the job requirements. So again, if you see the skills or you see keywords, make sure you address your application to what the job requirement is asking. Also, just another tip, so having a resume that's up to date, comprehensive, and which highlights transferable skills are essential to properly selling yourself to employers. So you've got to remember that you guys have picked up so many skills working in the car manufacturing industry the last few years, and so many of them skills would be transferable. So make sure you don't just kind of hone them in and only look for one thing, but just think about how your skills could be transferable to other industries or other jobs. So another tip is do your research. So I want to just quickly show you guys this website. So this is the labour market portal. Again, this is created by the government to help us. So labour market information portal. So again, when you're considering what to do, the more research, the better. So with this this website, you can actually tailor your search to be quite specific to help identify what the labour market is like in certain states or even certain regions within those states. So for example, we're going to look at employment regional data, and so I've put it specifically for the Gold Coast so that it's relevant to what we're looking at. And then we're going to hit view charts and maps. Yep, so some of the things that's brought up is so unemployment rates, the number of people that are unemployed, mature age, job active caseload, but also within the website is this really great resource which actually shows projected regional employment growth by industry, so for the next 5 years, so from now till November 2020. So if you have a look, so we're aware that healthcare and social assistance is the number one is the number one employer in the Gold Coast. And so after that, we've got education and training, we've got professionals and technical services, accommodation, food, construction. So then if you scroll over here, it actually tells you the trend, so where it is now and then potentially where it's going to go. So as you can see here, something like mining, so agriculture and forestry is not on the growth. So that's actually, it's projected to not grow. Mining is on the decline. But if you have a look, you can see potentially what is going to increase dramatically over the next 5 years. So retail and trade, accommodation and food services. But the number one here is professional scientific and technical services. So again, we've got education and training, healthcare. So that's all on the decline. So that's definitely something for you to consider when pursuing the different industries. So I'll get back to that. Okay, excellent. So we've actually come to the end, but what I want to do is I just want to go through an example with you. So John is similar to you guys, so has been recently made redundant from a local car manufacturing company. He has 10 years experience, however has no formal qualifications prior to finishing school. With the labour market moving towards qualified staff, it is important for John to get some qualifications. This can be done through recognition and prior learning. For example, TAFE Queensland offer a 12-week RPL program for their Cert 3 in automotive manufacturing technical operations, so that's bus, truck and trailer. So what RPL means is, I did explain it before, but it potentially means you could get a certificate or some kind of qualification much quicker than other people. So this 12-week intensive, a lot of the subjects would be RPL'd. So you may not have to do any subjects, but you may have to do a few. So John has a young family, so he cannot afford to be out of work for long. John was able to obtain a forklift crane license with his previous employer. My recommendation to John was to look at what jobs are currently available and to apply for jobs requiring a forklift and training license and crane license. So something I was able to assist John was getting his resume ready and also doing some mock interviews. But what I want to show you is potentially some of the jobs that John could actually apply for with his previous experience and potentially and also having that forklift license. Okay, so the first one we've got here is a production officer. So it's a growing business and it's a press machine operators to produce high quality paving products as part of a close-knit and supportive team. So this is a full-time role, and so the responsibilities are ensure safety, health and environmental standards and maintenance, diagnose system faults. So some of the things that they're looking for, what they're looking for in an applicant is demonstrated experience in machine operator, strong mechanical and adapt, and the ability to find fault with machinery, able to work as part of a small team, strong commitment to safety and environmental, forklift and front end loader ticket. So just having a read of that, there is nothing in there that says that you and your experience couldn't do a job like that. So that's what I mean about thinking bigger and potentially just broadening your thought and potentially broadening what you're looking for as well. So I'll just show you one more. So this is an afternoon shift factoring manager. So the pay for this one is $75,000 to $79,000 a year. So this is premium quality caskets that are handcrafted from the finest solid timber, personalized coffins. So this one's actually on the Gold Coast, and there's roughly 20 employees to manage. So again, if we have a look at the skills and qualifications, so proven experience in factory, manufacturing management, excellent communication skills, problem solving skills, ability to implement safe work practices, ability to multitask and be a team player, have a positive and self-motivated attitude. And then it just goes to list some of the duties that you may be involved in. So as I said, even that job, there is nothing on there that would say to me that you wouldn't be able to do the job. So they're the kind of things that you should be looking for, just broadening. Again, if you did have them qualifications, it would, or some kind of qualification, it would then open you up to even more jobs and to even more career opportunities. But they're just some things to consider. So does anyone have any questions before we end? No? Okay, no worries then. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Thanks.